Senior, we probably have about the same amount of time.
Okay.
So it will truly be rock, paper, scissors.
The next tiebreaker down.
Yeah.
You wanted to. Eddie Griffin is hilarious. Kindness is punk rock. To quote Superman. You don't mind if I wrap this around your... It's going to be...
I don't know yet which person's going to speak yet. I don't want to have to change it.
I assumed it was going to be... So you're going to... What kind of mic do you have? Okay, so you're probably going to want to, like, if your cord's long enough, clip to, like, one of these right here. And then go from there.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to ask them how they want this to roll.
Oh, okay.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Just kind of, we obviously don't do a lot of these mass media events, so we're just going to ask y'all, how do y'all kind of want this to roll? I'm Division 9, which is Winston-Salem,
you mind if I
Lexington,
clip this one?
Salisbury. Derek
Yeah.
is headquartered out of Greensboro,
Okay.
Division 7. So I don't know if y'all want 2 interviews or y'all want us at the same time.
Maybe one at a time.
Yeah,
Okay.
one at a
I
time.
prefer, yeah.
We are taking a live picture at noon, so
We are as well.
Just to let you know, it will be live for just a sliver of a moment, but
And then I'll just interject. I'm the communications officer for Division 9, but because it's like in the same area, my communications officer who works with Division 7, her name is Jordan. She's not here today, but just to let you guys know before we get started, we're going to do as many updates we can, like on through social media. That's what one of our platforms. We'll do press releases as needed, and then we'll also, like depending on if you want interviews, do Microsoft Teams because the crews might be super busy, so you might have to be deferred to us depending on what's going on.
Okay.
So just want to be straight up front with you guys earlier.
Social media, is there divisions?
Well, depending on what it warrants, it'll be on the main and on the Division 9 and Division 7. But just if if it's something significant, it's definitely going on the main channels.
We'll just make sure each division has.
Oh yeah. So we'll definitely check the local.
It's a triad. It's not
Yeah, it's
a
called
7 and
Piedmont
9.
Triad,
Yeah.
and that's what you need to look for. But if if it's something, I would say catastrophic, definitely it'll be on the main channels.
So you're first, you can step up to the mic.
Okay. All right.
You can step
Which-
behind the mic.
Okay.
Maybe stand like right here.
Right here? Okay.
Maybe a step forward.
I need to make sure my...
Step forward.
Oh, thanks. My,
Yeah, there you go. Right.
card's full. Here it is.
Okay.
Nodding. Okay. Set.
spelling of your first and last name.
Stephen, Stephen, Dixon, Dixon.
And what is your title?
I'm the Division Maintenance Engineer in Division 7.
Okay, and Division 7 is?
Guilford, Rockingham, Caswell, Alamance, and Orange counties.
Okay, and so what are your crews out doing to prep for this winter weather we're expecting?
At this time, right now, we're preparing to brine tomorrow. We'll brine all the primary routes, interstate routes, in preparation for the snow.
What are some tips that you have for the public when it comes to driving on weather conditions like this?
The first tip is to not drive on weather conditions like this at all, to be honest. If they do have to be out, by all means, keep plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you, and keep a safe traveling distance and drive very slowly. But our preference is not to be on the roadways at all.
Do you know like how many miles you have to cover within tomorrow?
Tomorrow, as far as interstate travel, we'll have to cover approximately, I would say, 15,000 lane miles. That's on our primary system. It's probably about 5,000 to 8,000 secondary routes.
And as far as like back roads, rural communities, are you all covering those as well?
We will. We push snow as a tier system. We'll try to get the interstates and primary routes clear first. That's UNC routes, NC routes, I-40, 85. Then we move on to our secondary system, and then after the secondary system, we'll move on to, well, subdivisions, and then after subdivision, our secondary unpaved roads.
What are your biggest concerns to make sure they're covered? I know in the past, when we have talked to you guys before, it was kind of talking about, ramps and bridges. Are those kind of focuses right now, or is it, tell me where your big focuses are.
Our focus right now is on the primary and interstate routes. That will be our focus throughout the event, to get those clear for commerce, travel, people getting to work, and there, so forth. And then from there, we go into our secondary system. So our primary focus will be the interstates and primary systems.
Can you specify? You said, I think, 15,000 miles.
Lane miles.
Lane miles. Is that just for Greensboro? Is that for Greensboro?
No, that's the whole, all of Division 7. That includes Rockingham, Guilford, Caswell, Alamance, and Orange counties.
Okay, thank you.
For your division, how many crews it encompasses as part of Division 7 that's going to go out and take care of the roads?
You're probably 250 people.
Working in, what, 24 or 12-hour shifts, probably?
No, we don't work in shifts. We work 24 hours.
24.
Yes.
So once this weather hits, then what is the next steps?
Once the weather hits, we assess just exactly what the roadways look like. We'll be salting first, and then depending on what the weather shows us or presents, depending on ice or whether it's snow, will determine what we pivot to next.
And then talk to us about brining, the difference between brining and salting. I know this is kind of, things we cover each time we have a weather event, but help us just explain it to our viewers.
Brine is an anti-icing. Anti-icing, what we do is we try to make sure it prepares the roadways prior to any precipitation that falls. Salt is a de-icing. That's basically just taking the snow and ice off the roadway.
And if we look behind you, and I think I remember from talking with Mark before, the brining is in those huge white containers, and then you have the salt in here.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Do you foresee having enough of those resources to last through this weather event?
Yes, we have enough salt on hand to get through this weather event. Yes, we do.
An event like this where, it keeps changing from snow, then sleet, then back to snow, then sleet, then ice, as a division chief, person in charge, how tough is that to sort of, put your crews, knowing what they need to prepare for?
With the snow and sleet, it's pretty much the same type of process. When we get into ice, then it becomes a situation where it is difficult to try to manage, because then you're having where trees are coming down at the same time having to push snow off the roadway, so it can be very difficult.
In the past, we've heard that NCDOT crews learn from every weather event that they go through. Is there anything in particular from a previous weather event that you're thinking, okay, this is something we especially need to pay attention to leading into this upcoming one?
Just making sure when we push snow of this magnitude is making sure that we push the snow far enough off the roadways to where we don't have refreezing at night, where such as super elevated curves, where the snow can actually melt and run across the roadway, causing icing issues at overnight. So we try to make sure we push the snow and ice well off the roadway to prevent that from happening.
Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you think, every single time, we have one of these events, you're like, we say this every time and people still don't listen. Is there anything you're thinking of?
Just for everyone to be patient. This is an event that we don't have happen in North Carolina a lot, so we just ask everyone to be patient, understand that being at home is the safest thing to do. When you're out traveling, while we're in the process of removing snow, it becomes difficult for us because if you wreck or anything like that. So just the main advice I can say is just to make sure just stay at home and be safe.
Actually, I do have a follow-up question. Is there anything unique to your coverage area that is something that you're constantly aware of for your specific coverage area compared to one like Division 9's?
Division 9 and Division 7 are similar in a lot of ways. So a lot of things that Mark has to deal with, I deal with also. So it's pretty much the same.
Okay. So a lot of the same strategies then?
That's correct.
Moving into this.
That's correct.
Have you guys been collaborating since the news of this weather event coming?
Oh, yes. Myself and Mark collaborate all the time. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're good.
As far as Mark's interview, if you want to, I guess, say anything else on top of that
Sure.
that he may have missed, and you don't have to repeat it. you know,
It's all good.
everything he said.
It's all good.
If anything's different, you know, we were just talking about if anything's different between
Yeah.
his division and your division. Is there anything else that he missed that you'd like to touch on?
First off, I assume y'all want Mark Crook, Division 9 Maintenance Engineer, MARKCROOK. It has been a long time since the Triad has had an event of what's being forecast for this weekend. We ask for people's patience. We want people to be safe, so we are going to recommend, you know, stay off the roads if you can. If you have to get out, certainly be prepared for snow everywhere you're going. DOT's priority will be interstate and primary routes. And with the amount of snow they're talking about, that's going to occupy the majority of our forces for the first day or two of the event. We're like everybody else. We're watching the forecast and planning accordingly. The good thing for us is getting ready is the same almost whatever the forecast is. We're going to brine. Our crews will be ready. Our trucks will be ready. We have salt on hand. The biggest concern we have is the icing event, which could get into power lines and bringing down trees and power lines. That becomes a coordination issue with Duke and the other utilities. The other thing that's forecast for this event is it's going to get really cold after the snow leaves. Salt does not work below 20 degrees. And we're looking at days where single-digit lows are in the forecast. So any progress we make after the storm will be slow. Our resources are fully deployed. You will not see us out much at night simply because it's going to be too cold to make any progress. Division 9 has 450 pieces of equipment dedicated for this task, and we will be managing our resources to use those pieces of equipment and personnel in the most effective manner. The main thing I would really like to try to emphasize on this event particularly is it has been a long time in the Triad since we have seen a lot of snow and really cold temperatures right behind it. So progress will be slow. Our efforts will be on interstate and U.S. routes to start with, and then we will work our way out into the secondary system.
How many lane miles do you guys have to cover?
Our bare pavement system is centerline miles, about 800 miles, and then there's about 5,000 centerline miles in the division overall, including the secondary system.
You're talking about the most recent time where the Triad experienced a lot of snow. I want to say that was 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Were you here during that last significant weather event?
Oh yeah. We it's not been, it's not out of character completely for the Triad, but it has been several years since we've had a decent snow. And again, it's not just the snow and the ice that's in the forecast, it's the cold temps that follow. That's what's really going to make it hard for us to make progress.
Is there anything in particular in mind from that event that you are kind of like thinking about going into this one? Kind of the same question I posed earlier. Lessons from then that you're applying to now.
Management of resources. A lot of our snow events are 1 or 2 day events, and then if we have days following above freezing, we make good progress fairly quickly. This is not going to be that kind of event. We're anticipating a long, drawn-out event well into next week as far as getting to every road again. We're managing our resources accordingly. We will be working in shifts, so there will be a presence during all phases of the storm. But again, once it stops snowing and it gets cold, we just won't be effective.
Like, information that was touched on earlier about kind of getting a head start tomorrow. How many days is this going to take you all, your teams, kind of going out there and, putting all your force out there to?
We will complete brine in 2 days tops, partly because if it lays on the ground longer than 2 days, traffic kind of wears it off anyway. Plus, we've got to get all our equipment switched over to pushing snow rather than applying brine. So all of our prep work will be done by 4 o'clock Friday, and then for the weekend we'll be geared up and ready for whatever happens.
Talk about your
If people are out and about and they see our snow plows, try to give them a lot of room to operate. The drivers of these trucks are keeping their eyes on a lot of things, and obviously if it's throwing up a lot of snow, that kind of inhibits their ability to see what's going on around them and behind them. So if you do encounter a truck, give them a lot of room. Plus they'll be throwing out salt right behind the truck, so just give them room to operate.
Talking about those, safe driving conditions, and not driving when it is snowing and icy on the roads, when do you guys foresee driving being able to go back to normal?
If you know the answer to that question, you let me know, because I'm not trying to be flippant. It's just the weather after the event has more to do with us getting it off the road than anything. And when we're looking at days until we see a day above freezing, we are not going to make a lot of progress quickly.
How far, talking about collaboration with District 7, how far do you kind of collaborate out? Is it across the entire state? Talk to us about that.
The DMEs across, DME is our job title, Division Maintenance Engineers. We're talking with our fellow divisions mainly to coordinate brining operations. At this point, if one division brines and one doesn't, we don't want people to hit a county line and then all of a sudden have a drastically different condition. Initially during the storm, we're focused on taking care of our own divisions first. And then once we get things in hand locally, if there's a need statewide, we can deploy our crews to other parts of the state to help.
And then give us some interesting facts if you can. I know you have salt behind you. How much do you typically go through with a snow event like this or brining?
Yeah, Division 9 has about 9,000 tons of salt on hand right now. One of my concerns is we will exhaust that supply during this event, which becomes an issue if we have another event in a couple of weeks and we're not fully stocked. As you can imagine, if this turns into an entire southeast region event, every state, every municipality is going to be trying to get salt. So that's always a concern. But for this event, I think we've got the resources we need to get through it, and then it's just going to be a matter of how quickly the weather helps us get rid of it.
And how much brining product do you have, and how long? Yeah, how much do you have?
It takes about 95,000 gallons to pre-treat the entire Division 9 bare pavement system. We don't have all that in storage. We have to make some as we go, but in round numbers, it'll take 95,000 gallons to pre-treat everything over the next 2 days.
I apologize if you've said this before. What does division? How many counties are in Division 9?
Division 9 is 5 counties: Davidson, Davie, Forsyth, Rowan, and Stokes.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Hopefully y'all wrapped up before the Porta-John truck shows up.
Is anyone trying to do a live picture from this location?
No, I think they already took us.
Okay, gotcha.
At right at noon.
Okay.
And then I think we're all heading over to the Winston-Salem. Yep.
We wanted to have this many times with y'all.
Hey, we appreciate that.